two-parter. Let me.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I just clicked the start button. So
Oh,
today's meeting
okay.
is about just keep
It's
going.
okay. So it's mostly about coming up with a more centralized kind of idea of what kind of sci-fi we want to do.
Yeah.
And I think I think all the visual development artists I was able to speak to that I was working closely with because I'm doing Scout, so my design has to communicate cohesively with people who are working on the tower and Scout. So I talked to Pam and I talked to Shia. And so what happened was I was looking to talk to Kelly, but I knew she was missing, so I didn't want to bother her. But she did post like several resources for us to look at. Like Ultimate Robot is great. If you guys haven't looked at it, Kelly posted it to the Facebook group. I found it really helpful. But for today's meeting, we're not going to deeply critique everyone's work per se, but we're going to compare and contrast them with each other and explain what we need to do going forwards. So after talking to Pam, oh, actually, Pam, I'm sorry. I just went into. Do you mind if I just keep going, or you're
Go ahead. You can probably put it really coherently.
okay? So I think like everybody who's been working on VizDev so far, besides like story moments don't really count because you don't need like a strong aesthetic for that necessarily. People who are designing characters right now might agree they are struggling with some of the character concepts. I know Tara, you brought up a really good point last time. Like all the scout designs so far don't really feel like a core, right? They feel like a character, but not really like a core to a city. And I took your criticism very seriously, and I was like, no, Tara has a really good point. Because I don't think we really decided on how energy works in our city yet. Like, is that
That's
correct?
something that I also struggled with for designing Scout, because that's something that I was trying to think of is exactly what is the power? How is power happening?
Oh, guys,
Exactly.
sorry to
And
talk through. Tara and Pam, you guys might have to speak slower and louder because I think it's the recording issue, and I'm afraid that Kelly, if we record a video, I can't hear the voice. If we want to,
Okay.
yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead.
I don't know how to fix that.
okay, yeah. So, yeah, so what basically just happened was that Tara said she was also having trouble with figuring out in her design where Scout's power comes from. I introduced a solar energy concept because I understood we were going green. We wanted to bring this idea forward, but in another criticism I got from Pam was that it feels too conventional if we're playing it safe. And then I was thinking about like, well, why why are these designs looking the way they are? Because and I realized it's because we haven't really sat down as a group and discussed this is how energy works in our city. This is the kind of science fiction we are going for. So, I mean, this is really half as hard, but I put together like, hold on. Where do you share? Okay. I don't really know how to share text in this kind of chat room. I remember like she had taught me last time. Wait, hold on. Oh, I found it. Okay.
Oh, you found it? Okay.
So yeah, I found it. Here's a link to a doc I put up really quickly.
Yes, and that is actually.
I did that. Yeah, I did that in the like just a few minutes before the meeting.
Here we go.
But we need to really clarify like what kind of science fiction we're going for, and I feel like that's the first step to at least unifying the aesthetic of our world, and then really getting into the scene. I know like quite a few of us were in John's class from last semester, and I want to say like I loved everything you guys did. You all did great, but I want to say like I want to give you guys kind of an opportunity to share with people who weren't in John's class how helpful it was that John told us to like really get into the mindset of our world before we started drawing. Like Tara and Shia, what do you guys have to say about that?
Well,
like the research that goes into figuring out like because like Shia's felt so believable and Tara's felt so real. Like you guys as characters and worlds totally convinced me they were real. And I want to say it's because John told you guys, first and foremost, like, obsess yourself, like, just, drown in that world, like, really understand the universe that you're exploring.
And then I think it's just that you have to know what you're doing, and then, like, it kind of fits your characteristic, too. Like, Tara, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Well, I think from myself personally, I think what really helped in making that project successful for me was I had there was a lot of real world examples to draw from. Like, three of my characters I just completely stole from real people. No, I'm serious. Some of those characters, some of those are actual real people, and I mean, of course, I changed them so that they, don't look exactly like the real person.
Yeah, of course.
And also too, like, a lot of the references for like coming up with the modeling packet and things like that, those were all very real. What's the term? Not settings, real places. There was a lot of I didn't have to make stuff up so much per se. I'm not sure how to best do it.
No, I completely agree. It's because your creative abilities were being used to translate, not to like, poop out from nowhere. And the reason why
exactly,
I think the reason why all of us are having problems with the creative process right now is because we don't even know which library to dig in. We don't even know like kind of which aesthetic should I be looking in, because we haven't talked about this. And I agree with you, Tara. Like, it's really hard to come up with something that like you have to make up. And I want to say we need to decide at least on what science fiction aesthetic we want, because there's a lot of good movies and video games out there that at least kind of have that flavor that we're going for, right? The genre. Like, okay, you guys all know Blade Runner and Akira, right? Like, that's tech noir. That's one type of science fiction. It's called tech noir. It has kind of like this nitty-gritty, very realistic, but also like kind of like cutting edge feel. And then you have stuff like Star Wars, and then you have stuff like Afrofuturism, which is really interesting. And then you have like the Fifth Element stuff. Like, those are crazy, but and also a lot of artists worked on those, and they all have different ideas as well, but they all had the same underlying theme, and we need a same underlying theme right now.
I would vote for Final Fantasy.
Like, I mean, like, but that's the thing, though. Some of the designs that I've been looking at so far feel Final Fantasy, others feel Wall-E, others feel like Destiny.
Yeah, because I think we need to narrow it down.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Elizabeth, because one thing that I was also struggling with, and this was something that I was noticing with my designs, and I'm not really so thrilled with my final look, but I feel like I have such a limited exposure to things.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, not necessarily just the fact that I have a limited exposure to certain films or video games or whatnot, but just a limited life exposure. Because as I was designing, I was thinking, like, I feel like I would have like a lot more things to draw on if I would just like experience more of the world, if I just had more world experience. I don't know. Not like that would particularly help, but it was something that I was really struggling with.
Yeah, I think we all know that feeling, because like we're in our early 20s. A lot of us don't even have the financial means to travel the world. Like, I'm gonna be real with you, I'm super jealous of people in our major who are like, I'm in France right now. I'm like, I wish I was you.
Yeah, right?
Like, yeah, we all feel that. There's always that travel envy. But the other thing is that the internet, you can go anywhere. You can go to France in like 0.5 seconds. And I feel like, while it's true that we're at a disadvantage, we're also not entirely at a disadvantage in that we just have to know where to look. And that can be really scary too. Yeah, but like, I mean, you guys are all really smart, so I feel like as long as we put our heads together, we'll be fine. But, to move the discussion along, so I'm glad I'm not the only person who felt this way, because I know Pam and Shia definitely felt it. But this is totally solvable, and I feel like the reason why we're doing a two-parter meeting is because we thought that we're going to have stronger designs, and we're going to come out with them faster if we decide on these things today first, is what we decided to do with today's time.
I like that idea. I like that plan.
So you guys all cool with that?
I think we're gonna, like, as a time schedule, because I know people are leaving before 10, right? How about this, like, if we focus on this one, Yuli, you had a really good point. You have a really good point here. So, I mean, how about we focus on this one, and if we don't have time, we go with story moment first before ideation. If you guys
I was gonna go over story moments around 9 p.m.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So we're gonna talk about this stuff first, and then 9 p.m. we're gonna go over story moments, because like I know a lot of people have to leave.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go into, and then tomorrow, if you guys want more in-depth critiques on what you have for today, Pam and I will be online to talk about that for the whole day. So you can just message us whenever.
Okay.
So you're still going to get feedback. It's like, also, I don't want people thinking, like, just because we're holding off on deciding on designs today, that their work was meaningless, because it's not meaningless. Like, you can still build on it. What we're saying is that we need to unify our culture and our aesthetic so that we have better decisions to make.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is what I told Shia and Pam, they both agreed with me, is that, yeah, professors are going to make us change everything again anyway. They will. That's just kind of how it is. But, like, the thing is, if they ask us, hey, why did you make this design decision, and we don't have a good reason, that's not going to look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we should at least have, like, a rhyme to our reason. So they go, like, why did you do this? We change it. We're like, well, this is what I was doing. They were like, oh, okay, then we can have a discussion.
Okay.
As opposed to, like, them going, like, change it. And then we're like, they're like, why did you do that? We're like, it looked nice. And it matched Tara's. So, like, that's not going to look good.
Yeah.
So what are you guys really liking? Like, okay, let me try to figure out how we can unify our aesthetic. So I know for sure we want solar energy. A lot of people really like it. Another thing is we want a sense of community, right? Like the whole the city's interwoven with its citizens somehow. Like everyone's, I don't know, like it's a tree of life kind of feel I'm getting from everyone, right? Like
Yes.
So what kind of aesthetic do you guys want to go for in that regards? Do you guys want to, I'm just going to be real with you guys, do you guys want to do the kind of Wall-E shit that we see all the time? Or do you guys want to do something crazy? Like, how crazy do you want it to be?
Final Fantasy.
That's not crazy enough. Final Fantasy has been done. And I'm going to be
Your
real.
Final
Okay.
Fantasy.
Like, here's the thing about, I'm not shutting you down, Zanzan, because I know the appeal and the sexiness of Final Fantasy, and I like it too. But if we do something that everyone's already done, we're just going to do the same thing they've done, but worse.
I'm sure we are going to do different, but I'm just more toward those kind of feeling.
Yeah, I know it makes you happy. So, I mean, I'm using it as like a talking point to be like, I think you should do Final Fantasy, but I also think we should settle on an aesthetic that, you know, we can all feel happy building on, that makes sense with our world. So I've listed some, like, really weird-ass science fiction that most people don't look into. I know Fuchs' team wants to do Tech Noir. That's what they want to do. We don't have to do that. There's also, like, Biopunk, Decopunk. Decopunk is fucking awesome, by the way. And also, another thing I think was really interesting to me, have you guys considered Art Nouveau, but, like, science fiction? Like
Do we
that,
have an
that look and
example?
feel? Muka, like Muka art.
Yeah, no.
Example, those words are pretty. Not really familiar with them.
Go to Google Images. Just like drop that
I
in
am.
Google Images. Yeah, and then you'll kind of see, because like those are really. I think Decopunk is really pretty. But I'm wondering, can we invent our own science fiction? Because these are all crazy because people invented them. Like, what if we took things like Muka's Art Nouveau and then turned that into like its own science fiction look and feel? Or what if we took something like, I don't know, like, trying to think of other really stylistic artists, like, what if we did that? We're all art students. I'm thinking, like, why don't we make it a nerdy, fun thing for all of us? Because I want to say that, you know, things are most fun when you're going into unexplored territory with crazy-ass people like yourselves. So, I mean, personally, I think it'd be really cool if we did something that people haven't quite seen yet. Because it's science fiction, they've seen everything. So...
I'm looking at those words, searching.
One suggestion or one possibility that I was thinking of, actually, I think it's something that has been mentioned or touched upon before in the past.
That's fine. Anything
was doing technology, but that has a very nature flavor to it. I mean, I know that that's very vague, but I kind of like the idea of like how I know that for you, Pan, like your room design, you know, you were inspired by like crystal rocks and other natural elements, and in shape and design. I mean, I'm not quite sure how that would translate exactly into.
Actually, Tara, I think I know. Okay, I'm gonna like drop this link, and then I agree with you because that's what I was thinking too. But this is what I meant when I said Art Nouveau, like, because it feels like industrial look, but also nature. I don't really know how to explain it, but if you click the link, you'll see what I mean.
I'm see.
Nouveau's inspired by the Greeks and the Egyptians, right?
Yeah, like something like
Okay.
that. Like, what do you guys think about imagine this jewelry as a city and as robots? I guess is what I was.
That would be cool.
I like that.
It has a Final Fantasy feel in it too that Zanzan likes. Is what I was thinking. Too.
Hooray!
Also, too, at least for me personally, it's like if anything, if Egypt is dropped into his name, I'll immediately be happy because that just always has a soft spot in my heart. I'm
I like
a sucker,
shiny.
I'm a sucker for anything that involves Egypt, so I am definitely would be very happy in that.
Yeah, it'd be really
In
cool.
that land.
What if our sci-fi is because Art Nouveau is very much inspired by old world like Egypt and Greece and stuff like that, right? But also you guys know Alphonse Mucha, right? If you typed in Alphonse Mucha jewelry, that's also crazy. Like let me do that for you. So
Actually,
I'm lazy and we're all lazy here. Like this stuff. Here, I dropped a new link.
Oh, you already did? Oh.
Yeah, I did it.
Uh,
Because I want to say, like, this is something that, I was thinking about, like, what all of us have in common. And I feel like this is one of the things that we all have in common. It gives Pam an opportunity to be whimsical. It gives Shawa, like, room for her to, be whimsical as well. And, like, I know Tara has a soft spot for that. And I know, like Zanzan really wants her Final Fantasy. And, like, it has the same kind of drama I see in, like, in Chia's work. But, like, I don't want to hold you guys into this if you don't want it. It's just me bringing something out, trying to see if you guys like it.
I like it.
You really like it?
I
really
really like it. Yeah.
are we all agree on this? I like it too.
You like it too?
Can we like
Shall-
save
shall
those
I-
link?
Yeah, we can. I can drop them into the document. So if you guys want to like invent a new sci-fi, that's going to be really exciting. So
I am so down for this.
Actually, is it possible that I have like a more in-depth description to this kind of style? I think I got
Yeah.
some idea, but I'm not sure whether
Yeah.
I 100% got what we are going to.
okay, yeah, that's why we're here to talk about it. So can you explain what you would be interested in? So like if you don't know, we can do the research and try to fill in those blanks because I'm not an expert either, but I would want to help answer your questions. So like what questions do you have?
I still don't have question because
I think-
I don't have enough. I think I understand, but I'm just want to make sure.
I think you're not sure, like, how do you apply it to mecha stuff, right?
Maybe, but I'm happy with what I'm seeing here.
Okay, so I guess it's like a translation issue. This is what John told us. Look at the textures. Look at the shape language that they're using. Like just don't even look at it as jewelry. Just see it as shapes and color and texture.
Are we set on Alpha Muka's jewelry, or we go with the one before that?
Oh no, they're both the same movement.
Okay.
It's the same
Lucas
thing.
jewelry is also Art Nouveau.
I kind
So,
of like
like,
this
He's a
one
specific
better.
artist of that
You know, like,
that style of
Yeah.
that era.
Yeah.
yeah,
I really like it. I have to admit, I really like this elegant.
Yeah, there's also Art Nouveau architecture I want to show you guys and furniture. If you look at Art Nouveau, you can also just Google it now. Art Nouveau architecture, furniture, like that old world look, but reinvented in a more natural way. Like, it'd be so beautiful, I think, seeing like this Art Nouveau crazy ass. Oh, here's one. This even looks straight up like sci-fi. I'm gonna drop this link. This just looks like sci-fi. This doesn't even look like not sci-fi to me, but someone could open that up. That's a build thing
Oh,
in real
I
life.
like
That's
it. That's
nice.
expand, right?
Wait.
That just looks like sci-fi to me. Like that doesn't even or fantasy, but like it doesn't even feel like yeah.
doesn't
Charlotte, did
feel
you
like it's
remember
real.
this image?
yeah.
Wait,
like
I have a question though.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched a movie called Jupiter Ascending?
Yes, actually, and they are influenced by this. by the way.
Great.
Yeah, so like I can tell what they were looking at because Jupiter Ascending is a great example of people who were looking at other art movements. They definitely are influenced by Art Deco. They're definitely influenced by Art Nouveau. If you look in their art book, it's like super obvious.
Yeah.
So like that's a,
Ooh,
yeah,
I like
it's
this
great.
dress.
Yeah, like Jupiter Ascending is a great. I mean, I don't want to say I don't think we should copy them because that's
No.
they have their own thing. Yeah, so like, what if like an Art Nouveau scientist? What would that look like? Like, who says Tarashia needs to be in a lab coat, right?
Yeah.
I want to
So-
change her name, man.
Yeah, no, that's not her actual name. We're just saying that
I
was
know, I know.
Tarashi from Big Hero 6. But like, and it'd be really cool if like, you know, like, do we even want to use kind of English as our main like kind of linguistic thing? Do you guys want to do French even? Like, we don't even have to stick to English as our main like moment. It opens up so many doors, and I think it helps us just feel so much less lost.
Ooh, I like this ship.
Wait, oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
so
the
like,
idea came from Angels. That's why.
but like, I mean, I want to say they were definitely still looking at real stuff before they
Yeah.
went there. So I think this is a good place for us to start. And Art Nouveau has a lot, because you know the shape for those like the wings for that Jupiter ascending ship you just showed us just now. They're very reminiscent to like the fire, or to like I wasn't trying to say dragonfly wings and like insect wings in that sense. So like, if we made our robots and our buildings mimic more natural things in that sense, I think we're onto something big here. And like, you know the colors they use in Art Nouveau and the way they like arrange shapes, the curls and like that stuff, we could totally put into our work. And I feel like it'd be so pretty, I feel, seeing like a BFA wall full of Art Nouveau sci-fi.
Organic
That's gorgeous.
and sci-fi here.
Yeah. So there's a
Okay.
lot of, but I feel like, okay, Jupiter Ascending is a little bit more like, I want to say, edgy. Like, it's a little bit, we're going for a lighter, more natural
Yeah,
thing than
yeah.
So I don't want us looking at it too much. I was watching Chef's Kitchen last night, and like, I understand why John likes that show, because a lot of the things they say in that show translate into, you know, our art. And they said, like, if you look at one artist, like he said, if you work in the same city too long, pretty soon like your food becomes influenced by like the other cooks in that area. So I mean, I don't want us looking at existing work too much. Like, don't look at industry work too much, because that's going to influence you. You don't want to be a copy of someone else by accident. So I want to say, look at like Muka or like other Art Nouveau artists, or okay, straight up perfume bottle designers are great people to look at. I honestly think, like, for my robots, I'm gonna go look at perfume bottles that are of that era, of that feel, because they're like organically shaped. They have to store things, you know. So it'd be really interesting seeing how that would look. So I'm glad we finally have a unified aesthetic. And now let's talk about solar energy. So does anyone actually know? Like, is anyone here an expert on solar energy? Like, just like, I don't know, people are experts all the time. Like,
Nope.
no? Okay, I don't know. I know, like, limited shit. Just
Google
straight
solar
up.
energy.
Yeah.
No, keep talking. I'm just.
Okay, because I feel like Pam was talking to me about how, like, oh, the solar panel backpack is a cute idea, but, like, we all see that. We all know what that... Yeah, it's really modern. So, like, you know, what would the Art Nouveau approach to solar energy be? I'm thinking of solar panels with kind of like butterfly wing patterns and colors. What do you guys think about that? Like, how pretty would that be? What if they fold? Like, they can fold up and stuff like that. Like how ours can, but like they open up like a blossom or something. Like, what if the whole city feels like a flower or something like that in that sense? It'd be really cool. Like, I don't know. I'm just puking out ideas right
But-
now in my head.
I don't think they have to even be panels, because I read somewhere that they invented a new type of solar panel, but it's transparent like glass.
Oh.
It's just
Oh my
not nearly
God.
as efficient as a regular solar panel right now.
It's in the future.
Wait, so it's glass? That's so cool.
Yeah, it's clear like glass.
Solar panel. Wait, hold on. Solar energy glass panel.
I
That's
have a
fucking
question
awesome.
though. Like, if it's that case, how's the thing going to explode?
Oh no, it's still gonna be a meteor. Meteor, I think it doesn't have to change.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Same game plan.
We're talking about like why everyone's character designs look so different. We're trying to bring them. Also, people were having problems with really getting interested in what they're doing, and I want to say that's because like not enough of ourselves. We don't really see enough of us in it. Like, the reason why I was searching for an aesthetic that we all could like and we all could like pour ourselves into that's different and fun is because I think right now we're all in our comfort zones, but we also don't have the opportunity to like learn more about something that we genuinely would be interested in. And like, I also want to say, all of us want to put a little bit of ourselves in it, right? Like, I mean, I'm really glad that like Tara was like, I love Egypt, fuck yeah, because like now she'll have an opportunity to show us her Terra interpretation of this aesthetic. Because before, like, I didn't know what I was showing off. Personally, I was like, what am I doing? Like, am I just like what's happening? So, you know, this aesthetic gives all of us kind of opportunity to highlight our interpretation of it. Yeah, so it's, I want to say, like, yeah, and it's fun, because it's something none of us are 500% familiar with, but we're all interested in.
Okay.
So that's good. Yeah, oh, so Pam, I see the glass panels they're talking about, and I feel like, yeah, that's totally cool.
It doesn't have to be, like, real either, because we're not doing things that are real.
Yeah, but, like, they still have to work. Like, you still have to be able to, like, give them an instruction. Yeah. Because, like, John's gonna care. Also, like, I think people would... You know how, like, when I showed you that Bioshock Infinite fan art, and I was like, Pam, I want to go there. You know, like, that's not real, but the way they pulled it together felt so believable.
Bioshock.
I believe it. So, yeah, and so Bioshock is a really good example of the next point I want to make, which is kind of like the cultural beliefs and the philosophies of our area. Like, you all know that, like, that Bioshock has a very clear culture to its story, right? Like, that culture influences
Look at the tower.
Yeah, exactly, the good guys, and I feel like why do our robots, why are they built to be emotional? I want to ask you guys that. Like, why do these things have to feel feelings, you know? Like what is it about this city that made scientists living here go, let's make robots that are going to have feelings?
Holy shit.
Oh, it's a scary, it's a terror game, so guys, watch out while you're searching.
No. I mean, Beth has a lot of good ideas, so it's like, we start, like, destroying everything and building another new stuff. Feels like that.
One way that I was interpreting the why robots have emotions. I mean, I guess this was my interpretation. I don't know if it's necessarily the right interpretation.
No, it's totally cool. Go for it.
Oh, excuse me. But the way I saw it was that, like, the robots are intended to serve people, essentially, serve and protect. But to better understand how to do that, they need to feel what humans are feeling, and by having those feelings, they can better understand, oh, you need this, or you need that, you need assistance with this, oh, I see you're in pain, let me help you, or that, at least that's how I was thinking how it would work.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, like, should that be the scientific philosophy of our city? Like, we should all better understand each other.
Yeah.
Like, if we, like, that could be, like, I mean, that's also, like, communication, right? It's also, like, Scout's philosophy, so, like, basically, that's really good, Tara, that you're, like, clarifying it. So maybe the culture, the scientific culture of this community is we are creating things to better understand each other, to better help each other connect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hold on, building, or I guess, inventions to help. So, like, we've answered those questions, and I think with that in mind, we can proceed more safely. So we have 30 minutes before we have to go over story moments. So I guess, like, kind of Q&A here. Let me actually individually ask everyone if they feel okay going forward. So I know for Xiao it's a lot to take in. I don't want to start. Xiao, do you want me to get back to you later? So if you have any questions, you can ask me, because I know I dropped a huge bomb on you. So
No, it's okay. I feel great right now.
Okay, because, like,
Don't worry.
Like, Pam and I were really hoping that people would leave this meeting feeling like they had more to work with than less, and that they can improve their work. It's sort of like, I really don't want you guys feeling like your work was useless. That's not what happened. It's really that, like, we were looking at what was being turned in. We were like, it's missing something, but we don't know what. And also, everything feels kind of loose right now in terms of how closely people's artwork compare to each other's.
Right.
They feel like, okay, I'm gonna be real, you guys are all great artists. They feel like 5 really good different movies. Is kind of what everything feels like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I talked to Shia about the same problem too.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
we kind of
Yeah.
realize it, and then I think that's why we're gonna let's go I mean, like I told you before, right? Like before this meeting, like